Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm here to talk about mindset. This is not everybody's favorite topic. I know that. I'm a doer. I like to get the list. I like just, here are the 5 ways to do this. Here are the 3 things you need to do today to change that. I like the action. I like the tasks. I like checking things off. But what I have learned over the last 5, 6, 7 years of setting goals and working on my goals is that it can't be solved in an action step. It has to start with a mindset shift first. There are so many mindsets that we have ingrained about other things, not just goals, about other things in our lives, mindsets that have been taught to us for years and years that happen to impact our goal journeys in ways that we don't even realize. And so today I am going to share 3 mindset shifts that I had to make in order to achieve my goals. And I hope that just by hearing this and knowing that somebody else has been there too, there is a light bulb for you, or you realize that, no, that's that one. That's the mindset that keeps holding me back. And then you can start to do the work to help change and work through that mindset shift that you need so that you can make progress on your goals. So the first one is the all or nothing mindset. As someone with perfectionist tendencies, I get it. It is so difficult for us to forget that life is not all or nothing, and that goals are not all or nothing, and that it is not black and white. There are so many shades of gray, and we have to realize that it can't just be an all or nothing, because at the end of the day, you can't be all 100% of the time, 100% of your days. That is just not how life works. Life changes, things happen. Some days are tough, some days are easier, and there is just no way for us to go about life focusing on an all or nothing mindset. So let me give you some examples, some things that I had to realize, some analogies that really helped me visualize how to get over this. So the first one is school. This is my favorite example. As someone who was a straight A student, I always seem to think that I can get A's in everything I set my mind to. If I work hard enough at something, I can get an A. That's true. That is a fact. That is very true. However, I cannot get A's in absolutely every class and do things outside of school. And life is the same way. If all you did was focus on goals, if you didn't have to do anything else, there was no job, there was no other people to take care of, you could just focus on you and working on your goals, you probably could get straight A's across the board, just like you could in school. If all you did was focus on school, you could get straight A's across the board. But as I started to add other things into my life, other extracurriculars, friends, relationships, hobbies, all kinds of other things, some of my grades started to slip a little bit. And then all of a sudden I got my first B. And at first I was like, oh, okay, let's be real. If we asked my mom, at first I probably freaked out that I got a B. But what happened was I replaced the time that I spent focused on that class with other things. And so now instead of an A, I was getting a B. And so what we have to realize is that as long as there are other things competing for our time and attention, there's no way we can get straight A's across the board in all of our goals. Now, maybe there's a scenario where you pick one goal to focus on, just one, and you dedicate all of your spare time and energy to that one goal. You could probably get a pretty good grade on that one goal. But for most of us, we have multiple goals that we're working on at one time. And if we're gonna work on multiple goals at one time, that's great. And I mean, that's how I operate. I like to focus on more than one goal at one time. But that means that I'm not gonna get A's across the board. The second issue that I have with the all or nothing mindset that I've struggled with is that when we fall short, so let's stick with the school example for a second. When we fall short, say I got a 95 in a class instead of 100, I'm focused on that 5-point differential. I'm focused on, why didn't I get those extra 5 points? What did I do wrong that didn't get me the 100? How about we focus on what we did right? Let's enjoy and celebrate the 95% of things that I got right. So when you set your goals, if you fall short, I want you to reframe your mind and focus on the things that you did accomplish. So for example, let's say you set a goal to work out 5 times a week for 30 minutes each. Great, that's a great goal. That is a big ambitious goal if you're starting from 0, by the way. If you're starting from 0, I would recommend that you decrease the number of days or the amount of time per day. But let's say that you've been working on your workouts for a while, and so now your goal is 5 times a week for 30 minutes a week. One week comes up, you stay up late one night doing one thing, so you skip one of the workouts, and there's whatever reason you weren't feeling 100% when you woke up, which whoever really feels 100% when they wake up. And so you did that for a week and you felt awesome. It was great. I checked it all off. Look, I got a 100% Laken. I did it. I did all 5 workouts, 30 minutes each. Great. Then the next week rolls around, and one night you stay up a little bit too late, so you oversleep and you skip your workout that morning, and then you kind of lose your momentum, so you skip your workout the next day, but then you find it again and you work out, Thursday and Friday, and so at the end of the week you've done 3 workouts for 30 minutes each. When you look back on that week, are you focused on the 2 days that you skipped? Are you focused on the 3 days that you completed? If we change our mindset to focus on what we do complete and what we do accomplish, instead of focusing on that difference and the 2 that we didn't, or the 5 points that we didn't get, we are way more likely to get rid of that all or nothing mindset and realize that things are still great even if we don't get 100%. The second mindset that I had to really embrace and figure out before I could accomplish some of the bigger goals that I've accomplished is the fear of success. As an Enneagram Type 3, I always thought that it was my fear of failure that was holding me back from doing things. And in some ways, in some goals, that is definitely true. And fear of failure is definitely a really valuable mindset to also focus on. But it turns out it was actually the fear of success and the fear of actually getting everything that I wanted. And every goal, accomplishing all the things and getting the life that I had always dreamed of. That scared me more than trying and failing. Because at this point, I have tried and failed a lot. And I feel like I have developed the ability to get back up again when I fall. Just like Anna Kendrick in Trolls. I can get back up again. But the fear of getting exactly what I wanted, that was holding me back. And there's a lot of reasons that fear of success can show up. Let's talk about some of the root causes, because once you determine what that root cause of that fear of success is, it's going to be a lot easier for you to work through that. The first one, which is definitely the biggest one for me, that I still work through today. Don't get me wrong, when I say that I have broken through these mindsets to achieve my goals, I don't mean that I'm perfect. Again, no all or nothing mindset here. I don't mean that I have completely fixed these mindsets for me, but I definitely have made improvements. And the first piece of fear of success is imposter syndrome. And knowing that you deserve everything that you get, and knowing that you have worked hard to get where you are, and knowing that you have the knowledge and expertise to be doing the things that you are doing. I think about the definition of an expert. It's like some crazy number of hours that you have to study or practice something in order to be deemed an expert. And yet people throw around the word expert a lot. But when you think about some of the things that you've done in your life, how many hours have you spent doing those things? You're likely pretty darn close to an expert. So before we start worrying about imposter syndrome, we need to focus on what we do know and what we have accomplished and what we are good at. And again, focusing on the positive and what we have accomplished. And again, focusing on that glass half full and that positive as opposed to all of the negative things is really gonna help us work through that. So is it imposter syndrome? Is that what is the root cause of the fear of success? Another big one, and definitely one that I have worked through, is the fear of change. Changing is scary. Change is scary. Okay, change is scary, but change is constant. Things are always changing. But we like to stay here in our comfort zones and not have that change. And the fear of success comes from the fear that you're gonna have to change, and you're gonna have to change something about your life, and you're gonna have to set new goals, and you're gonna have to come up with new ideas, and you're going to have to do something different because you accomplished that thing that you already set out to accomplish. That's a big one for me. Another one is developing thick skin. Negativity is gonna come. It's gonna come with things, and it especially comes with success. The more successful that you are, the more likely that somebody is going to try to pull you down. And so in order to work, to be successful, really, you've got to develop thick skin. And the fear of having to deal with that and having to deal with that negativity and not feeling like you don't have thick enough skin is something that I have found has held me back and holds a lot of people back. Another potential root cause of the fear of success is turning into someone or something that you don't like. So when you look at people that have success, whatever that definition is for you, and that's a whole nother piece of fear of success, is redefining success. But when you look at the people who have success, most of the time, and this is something that was hard for me to admit as well, there's a piece of their success that you want for yourself. And so deep down, there is likely some sort of jealousy. And when we're jealous of somebody else, we focus on the negative and we focus on the things that we don't like about that person, because then we can reason with ourselves as to why we don't want the success that they have. And then we don't have to work on it. And then we don't want to turn into them because we don't like this one thing or the other, so we're not going to work on that. I have totally been there. There have been people that I have admired, and then I have nitpicked and talked about the things I don't like about them, likely from some root cause of jealousy. And at the end of the day, you are not them. You are you, I am me, and I have now luckily learned, even if it was a nitpick, I've learned what I don't like to see in somebody who's achieved that success. So how can I achieve the success that I admire that they've accomplished without the things that I don't want to turn into? How can I be me in this space and still accomplish this success without turning into that other person? At the end of the day, all of these fears that we have, fear of failure, fear of success, has some deep down root reason why we don't want to succeed. And once we figure that out, and it could be all of them, by the way, it doesn't have to just be one of them, then we can work through it and overcome that. And the last mindset shift that I had to make, maybe mindset might not be the right word for this one, but the last mental roadblock I had to overcome, because this isn't, again, something I can to-do list my way out of, is patience. I do not have a lot of patience in general. I've never, ask my parents, I've never had patience, and I think that Amazon has ruined all of us. Nobody has patience for things to be shipped and delivered. Nobody has patience to wait more than 2 days for something to show up at your door, because Amazon has made us think that we can have anything we want like that. And so we want all that instant gratification all the time. And so when we have to wait for something, we give up before we give it the time it needs to actually come to fruition. One of the quotes that I say all the time is that all goals are achievable on the right timeline. And I 100% agree with that. The problem is that we give up before that timeline comes to fruition. We give up because we don't have any patience, and we just want the goal to happen like that, and we want to cross the finish line, and we want to check everything off, and we give up before we just waited and kept working little by little and actually accomplished that goal over time. And so I had to develop patience. That's it. And what I've learned with some goals is that we think that the change and the results are going to come faster than the problem. Like when you think about decluttering your house and how frustrated you get when you can't get it decluttered like that, and you can't just spend a weekend and be done with it. How long did it take for it to get to that point? How many years of buying things and not decluttering did it take for it to get to the point that you want to declutter it? If it took years to get there, it is very unlikely that you're going to be able to undo that all in a weekend. Same thing with weight loss. This is a really important point with weight loss. How many years did it take for you to get to the point where you were uncomfortable with your weight and you wanted to change that and go and start to lose weight? If it took years, it's not going to come off in one day. It's going to take time for it to go the other way. And so we have to remember that it took time for us to get to a point where we want to change something, and we can't expect the solutions to take half the time that the problem did. We're going to have patience, and I am preaching to myself at this point, because this is something I still struggle with. I'm like, I want it now. I don't want to wait. Even yesterday, I was like, I don't want to get married in 11 months. I want to get married tomorrow. Can we just can we just do that tomorrow? Like I'm impatient, and in order to accomplish some of the big goals that I've accomplished, I have had to accept that it is going to take time and baby steps and momentum and consistency in order to achieve it. So those are just 3 of the big mindset shifts that I've had to make in order to achieve my goals. And they are just 3 of the 7 mindsets that we talk about in my course, Accelerate Your Goals. This is a course that I have put all the things I know about goals organized in a neat little package, talking about the 4 main roadblocks that I see everyone struggle with, myself included, when it comes to achieving goals. And mindset is just one of them. And that was just a small piece of the mindset work that we do inside Accelerate Your Goals. So if you are interested in joining, the doors are open right now as of the time that this video is live until May 30th for this round of the course. This will not be the last round, so do not fret. But if you are able to join us for this round, we are going to kick off the second half of the year with some momentum, because we're going to spend June working through the 4 major goal roadblocks that are stopping us from achieving our goals so that we can accelerate our goals throughout the rest of the year. If you have any questions at all about the course, please feel free to reach out to me or leave them in the comments below. But I hope that this video was still valuable to you. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. One of the quotes I say all the time is that all goals are I can't even say my own quote.